Hi everybody, welcome back to my budgeting videos. It has been like 3 weeks since I posted up a video and sorry, I guess. It's just been a rough couple 3 weeks. Part of it, in the middle there, my mom was visiting, so that part wasn't rough. That was really nice. And I did do my budget when she was here. I just didn't take time to also film it because, I only had like a small amount of time with her while she was visiting, and I didn't want to take any more time away from hanging out with her than I absolutely had to. And I had to work for some of the time that she was here. So I really just felt like every minute I had with her was precious, which it is. So I thought instead of writing out the budget for this week, I'd sort of show you a recap of the 3 weeks so you could see where I'm sitting. I didn't always do my budget on time. It's just, it is what it is. So I think the last one that I filmed that you saw was this one here, which was for the April 6th paycheck, but I actually did it on April 18th, which is a prime example of just sort of how I'm very delayed in my budgeting right now. So this one, before I even did the budget, I'd already paid mom's housekeeping. I had to pay $300 to the cat sitter because I went to go visit mom over Easter, and my SUV payment had already gone out. So sort of this is the remaining things. That paycheck, also my dragon boat fees were due. So that was $341, but I have a sinking fund for that. So instead of contributing to the sinking fund for dragon boating this paycheck, I was withdrawing from that sinking fund to pay my fees. I didn't have $341. The fees jumped up quite a bit from last year, and I couldn't anticipate that, and I didn't have enough warning of how much they were jumping up to be able to save up the difference. So I just, I can't remember where I pulled it from, actually, to be fair, and I didn't write myself a note. Usually I write myself a note, so I mean, I pulled it from somewhere, but I just couldn't tell you where right now. I had to use my travel sinking fund to cover the loss in my budget because of being in Edmonton. It was a long weekend, so the Friday and the Monday were days off. I don't get paid for stats. It's just part of my contract. So if it's a day off because of a stat, I'm just losing a day of pay. And the way my job is, I can't pick up a shift either because my particular position just does not work on stats. And I'm not trained for anything else there. I want to be, but they have a limited number of people that they cross train, and I'm newer. So I have not hit the list of people that they'll train yet. So yeah, I had to use my travel sinking fund to sort of help cover the cost of just being in Edmonton. Like, even though the ticket was paid for and all of that, there's still just expenses that happen, right? You go out with friends, you do things, and also the loss within my budget just to pay for my bills because of the days off. My cash envelopes, I had a current balance at the time of $80, and it was like 83 cents, but I should have had $322. It was because I used the card that accesses the money for my cash envelopes for when I was in Edmonton, and I figured I would just try to balance it all out later. And I did try. I sort of divvied out the expenses and was writing them into the notebook, and it became a disaster. It was so messy. So I put $261.08 from the travel fund into the cash envelopes to help bring them back up to make up the difference, as well as like my normal deposit in there, I think, and kind of got things back on track. Then my April 21st paycheck. So this balance included the money from my tax refund, which I had really wanted to sort of very nicely put off onto like a really big payment onto something or into savings, or I wanted to use it wisely. I love when I get a nice tax refund and I can actually really utilize it and not just have it sucked into my regular budget because of circumstances. But yes, as you will see, so all my normal stuff like rent, Visa, line of credit, the BMO credit card, the Neo insurance, all my sinking funds, cash envelope, gas. I did not have enough money, so doing all of that left me in the hole $89.56. So I did not have enough money on that paycheck to contribute to my Dragon Boat sinking fund, to my present sinking fund, or my travel sinking fund. And I had to pull money from one of my sinking funds, $90, to bring the account back up into a positive once all of the withdrawals happened. Yeah, so my cell phone was higher than normal because I had gone into the States, and so I got roaming fees. And I tried to pick of the sinking funds and whatnot that I thought should be prioritized. So like the emergency fund and my insurance, and I think I did the tech one because it was 15 bucks. And I'm like, okay, I can afford that. And it's $5 less than, say, like my present sinking fund. So I don't know. I wanted to put money into as many of the things that I could, even though I knew I wasn't going to have enough for everything. So I mean, I paid. I don't do anything with these pages, clearly. There's always like dead pages in my book. What about for you guys? Or do you actually use every single section and it's just me? Um, this one, I had left myself a note for May that back in February, I paused my Canva account. So you can get a free account with Canva, but I paid to get like access to all the other stuff because I was using it for designing. Sorry, I had to think of the word for a second there. Designing like stickers and magnets and stuff. I wanted to open an Etsy store selling them, and I did sort of a test batch and did sell, not in an Etsy store, just to like a private sale. But the cost of supplies is so expensive, and I sort of didn't follow through with it. So when I went to go initially cancel the Canva membership, it gave me an option to pause it for 3 months, which I thought was very great actually. So I paused it, left myself a note, and decided that if in those 3 months I didn't even once think like, oh man, I wish I had that still, I would just cancel it. In the 3 months, I did not wish I had it. So I canceled it. I can always go back and sign up for it again. Like it's not like it's gone to me forever. This is just a breakdown of my budget for May. I predicted my cell phone was going to be 109.76 because I was going into the States with my mom. We did a day trip, but it was only 95.20. I say only 95.20, like that's not still a ridiculously high amount to be paying. Um, I budgeted 50 for groceries just because I didn't know. But I never seemed to know, and I think I was like really short on money, so I was like, clearly the thing I'm going to sacrifice is food. Yeah, so just sort of my normal breakdown. My sinking funds are there, stuff for the cat striker, my transportation, so my car payments, gas, and parking at work. And yeah, all of that stuff. So my cute little calendar, or at least I think is cute. I know it's super basic for a lot of people. I ran out of the little house stickers that I was using for rent, and I had a couple other stickers that I was realizing like I don't actually have ones like oh yeah, those ones, like I ran out of my car payment ones as well. So I went today on Etsy thinking like I'll buy a couple of sheets of stickers and re-up just for those ones. I was trying to just use stickers that I already have, but I don't have anything even close to a house or a car. So I thought just get those ones. Shipping is insane. It's a sheet of stickers. Okay, I was trying to buy 3 sheets of stickers, and each sheet, I think one was like 350, one was 450, the third one was somewhere in that same price bracket. So the stickers themselves were coming out to like $12 and change. The shipping brought the total amount of the order up to $50, which is insanity. So I did not buy any of the stickers because even when I broke it down, because they were from 3 different sellers, to see like, is it just one of them that has an insane shipping fee and the other ones are like a little bit more normal? No. No, the closest was one sheet of stickers for like 350 and a shipping fee of like $6 or something. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm just not. That's absolutely ridiculous. So I'm just going to be using non-specific stickers. It's just how it's going to be. I mean, it's a budgeting book. You can't spend $50 on 3 sheets of stickers when it's for budgeting. It just smacks of being wrong. Yes, so down here I had to do again. I didn't have a date for a payment for my Neo MasterCard, nor did I have a date for a payment for my BMO, or actually maybe that one I did. Sorry, I did. Sorry, June 4th. So I just kind of tack anything that doesn't have a date or a date that's outside of the month down at the bottom of the calendar. So my dad has passed away, and I got $1,000 e-transferred from my mom, sort of like the bulk of the money from when my dad passed goes to my mom, as it 1000% should. I don't want any of it, but I guess he left me 1,000 and each of my siblings, and then the grandkids. So she sent me the $1,000, and I don't want it. I know it's stupid, but I don't want it. I want him. But clearly that's not an option. So I had this $1,000, and I thought, how annoyed would he be with me if I let my emotions mean that I do something stupid or just not well thought out with this money? So I've e-transferred it over to my Wealth Simple high interest savings account so that I won't accidentally spend it because it's sitting in my checking account and I don't have easy access to it. I mean, it's not like it's hard access, but there's like one extra step to get it out of that account into my bank account to spend it. So I'm lazy. Maybe that one extra step won't matter. I don't know. But, it's a high interest savings account. I just thought it can sit there. It can do its thing, but it's not like tied up in like investments or something where I can't access it if I desperately need it. And it's just going to sit there. Maybe, I don't know. I really don't know. I thought about like maybe I'll use it for travel because mom and I were supposed to go to England. She's from there, but that got derailed when dad got really sick, and I'm not going to be able to make enough money to save up quickly to go on another trip with her. But she did talk about maybe we could try to go next summer. Um, so maybe that $1,000 can go towards the travel. I don't think he'd be mad about that. I don't know. It's just gonna sit there for now. But yeah, so because I'm so late with doing stuff, my payday was there, but today is the day that I did the budgeting for that paycheck. I know it's stupid to wait so long and I shouldn't, but my head's like not in the game right now for a lot of things, and I just couldn't bring myself to touch it on the weekend. Not because anything was particularly wrong on the weekend. When I have 3 days off, I find that I'm really sort of struggling a bit more. I think just because there's too much time in my head. I don't know. But yeah, so my budget from the May 5th paycheck, rent, SUV payment, just all my normal stuff. Like it's all my normal stuff. That one I was actually able to make payments into all my sinking funds and to all of my cash envelopes, like all of my balances. And it was fine. This is the one that I did when mom was here. So I just kind of wrote it all out, transferred the money to wherever, and then just went back to her. This is the one that I just did tonight. So I did it today, May 28th, but it was actually for my May 19th paycheck. My paycheck is smaller than normal, $1,153.59 because of missing days of work because of mom visiting. By the time I did the budget, my car payment had already gone out and I'd already bought groceries. So I didn't include those clearly in the budget. So everything else though, although I did forget to put in my BMO MasterCard payment, so then it's tucked down here and I put it in purple, I don't know why. I think I was originally going to write like a forgot and put it on the side because I was running out of space there, but then I thought, nah, I can fit it in. It's all good. So I paid everything, all my sinking funds, all my bills. My Visa, the minimum payment was $12.37, and I only put $12.37 on there because I actually have $200 in cash that I keep meaning to take into the bank to put as a payment on the Visa, which originally when I got the $200 in cash, my balance on the Visa was only a little bit over $200. So it was actually going to make a difference. My balance there now is, I think it's like 500 something. So it'll still make a dent, but, I'm going to pay the 200 and then see once there's no more pending charges what the final balance is, and then see if I can either pay it off with like the remaining what's in the account. Although I don't really want to touch that because next paycheck is going to be short as well because mom's visit crossed over 2 different pay periods. So I might just move it over to the line of credit. My Neo, I keep paying that one off fully every every paycheck, every time I sit down to budget. So that one's doing really well. Yeah, everything got paid. On the back, I broke down my cash envelopes. So I had a remaining balance in there of $89.91. This is how much I was adding in. You can see there was nothing for food because I already bought groceries. So I'm not buying groceries again in paydays in a week. So the balance that I had to add back in is $229.50, which I did. And I've started doing something different with my cash envelopes. So if you remember, I was because they're digital cash envelopes. So I had like different pages for the different categories, and I was writing like as I would buy something, writing it out and sort of keeping them all divided like that. But it's messy and I'm having trouble with it. Like it's not, because they're all pages and I'm flipping back and forth and everything, like it's just not working very well and I'm not liking it. So I'm not using it, which defeats the purpose. So I thought about actually going back to physical cash, but there's still a lot of places where I live anyways that will not take cash. And I don't really feel comfortable carrying cash around anymore. I like that I can just do everything with my phone. So what I've decided to do is I still have a breakdown here of how much per category goes in bi-weekly. I didn't put food because the food one kind of fluctuates depending on what my budget is and how much I think I need for groceries and stuff. And I'm just keeping it as a lump sum, as if it was all just in one envelope, and like that's the money that I have to get me through until the next payday. So I had a balance in there of like 80 whatever dollars, and then I added in the amount that I calculated for them. So now my balance in my digital cash envelope is $319.41, and normally that would be to get me through 2 weeks, but because I'm already a week delayed with my budget, that has to get me through 1 week, which clearly it will. But anything that I buy in any of the categories using that card to access like these funds, I'm just gonna write down as I go, and I'll write beside it like what I purchased, and maybe like if I can write small enough like the category it's coming out of or something, and maybe I'll find a way to track it a little bit better some other way. But this is just my simple, can carry it around, can keep it real-time updated, just to keep track of like what I'm spending and to hopefully keep an eye out, because like I have to make sure that I don't overspend somewhere and run out of money for my work parking before the end of the 2 weeks, right? Like, I mean, I just have to. And the same with, I can't make sure I spend so much that I don't have money for Striker the next time I have to get him food or litter. Like, there's these things, and like step class is only once a week, so it's a $9 thing, but if I spend everything and I haven't left at 9, I can't go to the class. I'm hoping that by just lumping them all together, I can just use sort of my common sense to kind of keep track and realize like, okay, like I'm starting to get low. Like, what have I been doing? What am I spending? Because really, like, the money can be moved, right? Like, it's not like something is in the takeout category and is absolutely forbidden to shift $15 from the takeout to the miscellaneous if I have to like pay to mail something and it's very expensive. Like, they're fluid, they can be moved around. So then I think maybe I don't need to be tracking them as if they're not fluid and keeping them all in their specific categories, just because it's making it harder and messier in the pages. I don't know if this is gonna work or not. I really only came up with this idea this weekend, so I'm gonna give it a try and see. If you guys have any suggestions, I am very open to them, because I like having them digital. I'm just floundering a little bit in the best way to be tracking them. So if you have any suggestions or helpful ideas on how to better be tracking the money that I'm spending, I mean, within the app, it shows me very clearly exactly what I spent money on. So, I mean, even if I don't have the book with me and don't write it as I go, I can tally it really quickly just by opening the app and looking at it. So maybe I don't need to be tracking it. I don't know. I'm just not sure. But that's where I'm sitting with the budget. So way in the front of the book, I've got the bill tracker. It's coming along quite nicely. Except clearly you can see I have not been paying mom back, which is horrifying. And there's where like the team fees were paid, but it's just so nice, you know, like it getting filled out. And then I've been keeping track, not in real time, I filled it out, I brought it up to date today, you can tell because all the pen is different. The saving trackers for things and the debt trackers for things, and I still have not done anything with that. I meant to. I think I was going to use it instead of a savings goal as a debt payment for my line of credit, but then because I kept moving the Visa balance over to the line of credit, I was like, I can't, it wasn't making any sense in my head how to do that. So I get confused by things like that. But yeah, so that is all up to date. The budget is up to date. Everything is figured out, hopefully. And yeah, maybe next, I was gonna say next weekend, maybe I'll actually budget on time, but I get paid on the Friday, and if I don't do the budget on the Friday, I'm kind of hooped, because Saturday I am extremely busy, and Sunday I'll be recovering. So let's just cross fingers I do it on the Friday. All right, well, thanks for sticking with me through this odd video, and you know, not completely ditching the channel since I went silent for 3 weeks. I very much appreciate it. I hope your guys' budget is doing much better than mine, and you're not struggling the same way that I am. And yeah, stay safe out there, you guys. I'll talk to you in a week-ish. Bye.